Evening, you wild roving band of questers. Simplicity here, and we are going to be doing a portal report for the individual gateways of initiation for a little pick your adventure twist on this quest that will be opening up with the Aries new moon, partial solar eclipse on the 29th of March, and will come to a culmination point with the Sagittarius full moon that will be arriving on the scene in June on the 11th. Mirrored energy there with the 11 energy signature, really talking about a point of alignment. So if you chose pile one that featured this key that unlocks your gateway of initiation and had the provider as the basis of the matter, with the pit bull driving a tiny truck coming in, this is for you. If you have not checked out the initial read where you got to make your selection, I highly recommend that you drop in with that particular download. It was for spring equinox. And I will put the card for that somewhere up over here so you can access it easily. All right. We're going to start out doing something a little different here. I really want to get some identifying factors first before we dive into your quest read to get some more details about these characters here coming in. On the basis of the matter, we have the provider, and I already have some initial downloads coming in around this character. I do feel like somebody here is putting on a front, a false front. Somebody's true identity or their true intentions or just who they are, just their general makeup is in some way concealed. Now, certainly this could be somebody who wears a lot of makeup, and so you can't really tell what they look like, or perhaps they use a lot of filters, or it could even be that there's some kind of catfish component involved in the situation you're dealing with, a fake account, having communication with somebody that you think you're talking to the person that you're seeing in that screenshot or that you're seeing as that profile picture, but there's actually a very different face behind that communication, right? In these times, it really is in your best interest, especially if you're developing anything with anybody at a distance online, that you request a little FaceTime. I feel like it's important just with everything going on in the world today. Okay, it's really easy for people to put up a fake profile, present themselves to be other than who they are. So there could be this component involved in the situation. With the provider here, this could also be somebody that's sort of making it out like they're well off, or they're working with a lot of resources that they could provide a certain lifestyle, or perhaps they're presenting an image that they're coming to provide you a certain opportunity, but do they really have that opportunity to offer? Do they really have the standing or the status that they say they do? There's something here that's a little bit amiss. This could also be somebody who's presenting an image like, I got it all together, I got it all nailed down, I got my ducks in a row, I'm a very stable person, and actually there's an inherent immaturity there, or some side of themselves that just hasn't really grown. You know what I mean? But they're presenting sort of an image of reaching a point of maturity in their life, reaching a point of stability in their life. I do feel like whatever is being presented here, there's already red flags around it. There's already suspicions about it. It is kind of the elephant in the room. It is something that's being swept under the rug that nobody really wants to talk about. I do feel like there is some kind of offer that is being made here. It very well could be an offer of love with the cups energy here, but is there anything in that cup? And with what they say is held within that offer, is it really true? Something's being concealed here. Now, I also got the piece coming in that this could be something that's being projected on another. Somebody could have been labeled like a crook, or they're no good, or this is somebody who just, doesn't have their ish together. This is somebody really immature. And this is somebody you can't trust. This is somebody who will steal your heart. This is somebody who will rob you blind. This could be some of the narrative around this person, but you will see those like stag antlers appearing behind that mask. So this could be somebody that actually has the makings of the perfect partner to come together with you to enact some important piece of your destiny. So there's something we do need to suss out here when it comes to the provider. And then there's also the piece here that there could be a child in this situation that somebody is providing for. And there's also a little bit of concealment around that. Either it's a love child that's being kept secret, or perhaps it's not their child at all. And that's the elephant in the room, right? So we're going to dive into that first, and then we'll get into this other card here. But I do want to open up with the Kipper deck to just get some identifying factors. First, I want to get some clarification on this provider. Bottom of the deck, imprisonment, okay? Very interesting energy coming in with the 29 there. I mean, that is the date of that Aries new moon coming in. It is a partial solar eclipse, so this could be something that isn't really identifiable on the surface, but yet energetically feels off about somebody you're interacting with. I mean, you could be interacting with somebody who is doing something in concealment that is illegal, something that could get them caught up, something that could get them in trouble. This could also be somebody who's feeling trapped. Maybe they're feeling trapped or bound by a certain obligation. Could be around a child. They may feel that somebody trapped them into some kind of committed relationship because of a child, where they're being asked to provide for this child. This could also be something that they are keeping hidden. Whatever this is, though, I do feel like this person feels like they're being held back. Now, with imprisonment, could it be literal? Yeah, it could be. There is indications here that perhaps there's been a certain narrative around this individual, red flags around this individual, that perhaps they're doing something that is, going against the grain, that could land them in some hot water. This could also be somebody who's done something unethical and they're sort of held up at the crossroads in a sort of spiritual holding cell, you could say. All right, but let's get some more details about this to see what's coming in. I mean, we got sudden wealth here again, coming in with the number 11. And we got a key number here for you to pay attention to that really aligns you with the path of abundance moving forward on this quest. And that's 777. Also brings in the 711 detail that has been, a continual download that's been coming in here for, I would say, the past couple of months. It's been coming in very strongly. And it is a number that's all about making sure you're sort of staying on course, because up till now, your hard work's going to pay off. So somebody could be paying attention to that. They could see that your hard work is about to pay off. They could be seeing that you're coming into some assets there. You're coming into some wealth. They may be putting on a false presentation that they can kind of match that as well, especially if this is something that's important to you. Now, this could be in relation to some kind of romantic opportunity. Maybe they feel like that's what you want. And so they're putting on this image like, I got that together. And that could, again, lead somebody into some hot water if they feel like you have some assets that they lack and they have a certain sense of desperation. They could try to work you for your money, and they could go about that through illegal channels. There could be something funny going on with the money here. At the very least, it's unethical. I could see that. It could be somebody making an illegitimate love offer to try to get in to gain control of some assets as well. And that does sort of echo the piece about maybe pregnancy, somebody using pregnancy as a way to kind of get a hold of somebody's assets too. All right. I mean, if you have any suspicion of that, I think it would be wise to, make sure you check on the paternity there. I think that's important. It's important. And if somebody has big issue with that, well, you might be afraid to bring that up. It's possible. You could be afraid to bring it up because you don't want it to spoil the love in a situation. But I feel like whatever the situation is, there's already some red flags here. Now, if this is somebody that wants to partner with you on some kind of business enterprise, they may be telling you they can match your assets, or, they can invest equally here. But there is some sense of something underhanded, somebody on the take. Okay, let's get some more information about the provider here, please. Give us some more information about this provider. Kipper don't play. I mean, this deck is pretty straight up, which is why I wanted to pull it out to just get details about these characters here, because this is quite foundational to your whole initiation here. Okay, let's see here. Now, could it be flip-flop? Could this be, you looking at somebody and thinking, will they be able to provide what I need? I mean, we gotta play both sides of the fence here a little bit when we're looking at quest energy. I mean, what role are you playing here? You may be choosing to play the role of a villain this round. It's possible. Some of you, okay. Oh, we got thief here. This is the crossing the energy, okay? So yeah, this is somebody on the take for sure. This is somebody on the take. I find this kind of fascinating though. Look at that. And there's even like a younger one attached. So this is something to pay attention to. All right, the 24th may be a key date coming up here, just in a matter of a couple days, okay? Pay attention. You might get a clue about this character. In fact, they might reach out to you with a message, all right? This could highlight who this figure is here. It's interesting that the thief is coming out. So I do think you're going to hear from somebody. And I do think this person may be in some hot water. And they might be trying to play on your emotions a little bit, work you a little bit. It could be flip-flopped. It could for some of you. I don't know what role you've chosen to play in your campaign. You could be the tricksy one here, all right? But I just see this is the basis of the matter. Somebody has some needs that must be met, and they might lack the means to get them met, and they might be in a position of desperation in order to achieve this, okay? Do look for correspondence to come in from this person. It should mark them. I'm getting right around the 24th, so I do feel like this is something that's going to come in before that new moon in Aries, so pay attention. And I saw 1316 on the clock. So yeah, this is something that could bring a tower if you sign on for it. You could be in a real strong position right now. I think especially in something that you're accruing here, something you're establishing for yourself, but I do feel like this could really take you out of that position. So you have to be aware of this. At first it might feel like, oh, it's a good thing I'm hearing from this person, or it might feel like it's good news, a good opportunity, a good offer on the table, but there's something here that has the opposite effect, okay? Let me do a cut of the deck here and see what we got. Comes in with a gift, okay? And on the opposite side there, poverty. Do you see what I'm saying? So this is sort of like a kiss up energy. Comes through, maybe splashes you, some kind of gift, sort of splashing around a false front of affluence or status, something that makes you feel like there's hope in this situation. With the number 17 coming in there, it evokes the star energy. But whatever this is, it will rob you blind. If you're not paying attention here, 14:55 on the clock, it may look like it's like this wheel of fortune, like something that's really turning in your favor, and actually it creates a lot of instability for you. So be aware of this, pay attention, because this is sort of the basis of the matter here. To me, it feels like something that could be a potential tripping point for you just as you're about to race ahead. And I say that because right here we have a pit bull driving a tiny truck, okay? And we have the number 333 here, okay? So 3 really being accented, 3 being a lucky number when it's really about you coming into alignment with helpful forces. So pay attention to those synchronicities. Also, I'm getting some, Gemini reference here coming in as well. Makes me think of the third house. There's going to be a lot of communication around this. And there's also cloaking of true intentions around that communication. In some cases, you are not communicating with who you think you're communicating with if you have not had FaceTime with this individual. So that might be something you want to press here. And I do have like tower energy around that. If you press that, I do feel like true intentions are going to become extremely clear. This person is going to have a lot of resistance around that for one reason or another. Now, could it be because this person uses a lot of filters? Could it be because this person, puts on the spackling and so you don't even really know what they look like? Could it be that they got a false profile picture? And so the person you're talking to is not who you're talking to at all. Whatever this is, I think it is important that you get that dialed in, because I feel like you are very focused on some kind of forward momentum here. There is somewhere you're going, and I do feel like you're supported in where you're going. And whatever you're heading toward here, it's very much in alignment with your stone of destiny. It's your North Star. It's your North Node activation. It does require that you stay very focused, like a dog with a bone. Like you got to really just hold on to your vision here. You can't get distracted. I do feel like this is kind of some hitchhiker energy that could hold you back, or in some way could get you caught up. Okay, you need to pay attention to this. There is something that is about to really manifest in your life that does mark a point of success. I feel for you very strongly. It's coming in the realm of material success, financial success. I got lucky streak. It's like once you stay focused and you don't let yourself be dissuaded from where you're heading here, I feel like you're going to enter a time of a lucky streak, but there is somebody here that's recognizing that. And they are wanting to kind of either hitch themselves to that or all out rob you blind. Maybe by getting close to you in such a way that they can get access to certain details, certain information, and beat you to the chase. So let's see what's coming in around this. Give me some more details about a pit bull driving a tiny truck here for those who chose this particular adventure, this initiatory gateway. Give me some more details here, Spirit, about this pit bull driving a tiny truck. This person's bite is pretty severe, I feel. This is not a person who really announces sort of how they'll settle a score, all right? You sometimes hear their bark is worse than their bite. No, this person's bite is worse than their bark. Like, this is a person of little words, too. They might have some kind of resentment. They might kind of have some sort of anger that they're keeping like a lockjaw on. They're not really revealing that, but I do feel like you can see it in their eyes. If you pay attention, there's something about the eyes that sort of reveals where they're really at. Isn't that kind of interesting there? Because in the basis of the matter, you can't really see the eyes here, but if you could see the eyes, you'd see how relentless this person is. You'd see the rage this person has. This person could also be a little vindictive, okay? A little vindictive. That could also be why they may not want to FaceTime. They may know that if, you really look them in the eyes, you're going to know what's up here. There's something about that. See, you're heading to great fortune. It's very clear. This keeps coming in for you. So you're on the road to success here. I see that. You've been very focused here. You might also be a little irritated because you feel like you've been dealing with distractions, interference, and you know what it is, but you haven't maybe necessarily called it out to the people who have been causing these issues, because you know that it's just going to hold you up. I think you already feel like as you're heading towards your goal here, you feel like you do have a bit of a target on your back. So you're just trying to stay the course. It's almost like you feel like if I stop and look back, I'm going to just like turn to salt. It's like you let something burn behind you. And it's like if you stop to look back and reflect on that, then I feel like you'll potentially go down with this energy, just as you're heading to this great fortune. So you do want to be aware of this. All right, give me some more details about this pit bull driving a tiny truck. Give me some more details about this pit bull driving a tiny truck. More details here, please, for this pit bull driving a tiny truck, for those who chose this first initiatory gateway. What do they need to know about this? Pay attention to when things come into threes. There's expectation here is the crossing energy. I really do have this coming in one of two ways. First of all, I do think you should expect to hear from this character. They are going to arrive on the scene. I feel that very strongly. This is somebody who's not willing to give up here at all. It could also be that this person really feels like you are their destiny, but they might have been putting on a front. They might have been trying to put on sort of like a tough persona, or I don't care, they don't matter to me. And now they're realizing they can't keep their feelings in any longer, and they do need to expose this. They might be afraid that you're going to steal their heart. Maybe you've already stolen their heart, and that makes this person feel a little defenseless. So if that's the case, this could be somebody that really puts on like a real tough front, like I don't care, and I can kind of see that too. To get into their heart, it's a tough nut to crack. I mean, that does sort of look like a peanut there, right, in the keyhole. Also, it is kind of reminding me too of like a pair of balls, like this person really, they put on that front. This could be somebody that, throws their weight around quite a bit. They like to put on a big show, but I do feel like within that, tough outer shell, there's a soft center, but how many licks is it going to take to get there? This kind of energy, okay? So I do suspect that, there will be this expectation of communication. But again, there is this additional message coming in relation to this, that somebody may know that a person is heading your way as well. And because of this, they want to interfere in that process and try to get somebody held up in relation to a child, a pregnancy. And there's something about that that's questionable, that might need to be looked at deeper, because I do feel like that could potentially hold somebody back in terms of where they're going, where they're heading here. All right. More details about this expectation. What should be expected around this for those who chose this particular initiatory gateway? See, look at this. Distant horizons in reverse. So this is like an interception energy. It's like you're wanting to pull up anchor. You're wanting to head toward your goals here. You're ready to head on up to the North Node. And here comes something that's trying to anchor you down and hold you back. You do need to be aware of this. Basis of the matter, main male coming in with the one energy, right? First house, Aries energy. Also, this is really tying into that Aries new moon. Do remember, it's a partial solar eclipse. So you're only seeing part of the story. You're not seeing the full picture here. There could be a travel piece connected as well. This could also be, there's been involvement with somebody at a distance. Now somebody is saying that, you know, they're expecting a baby. But if you got a relationship with somebody at a distance, and if you've already seen red flags, are you sure that this person doesn't have other lovers? All right, so there is something a little bit questionable here. And I do think this is what the main male is considering in this situation. Cut of the deck, what do we got? Okay, so we got the coffin here. And on the other side of that, we have the courthouse. So this is interesting. I do feel like there is something going on legally here. I feel this also has multiple layers to it. Now, in some cases, this is around inheritance. Somebody's come into a lot of money through an inheritance. Somebody is trying to gain access legally of those assets. And they could be working with pregnancy as a way to achieve that. I mean, I hate to bring that in, but that does look like this could be a potential piece to the story. I also see that this person could be ending a situation in their life. It could be potentially with somebody that they do share a child with. And because of this, the person they're leaving behind is very resistant to letting this person go, especially because perhaps they are coming into some state of affluence, or they got some big unexpected win. You know, suddenly this person's had a rise in status. And so they're trying to figure out how they can, you know, hold on, not let this person move forward and hold them back in regard to this. And in other cases, there is something a little nefarious going on here. There could be something kind of criminal around how this person got their hands on some money, or means they want to go about in order to seize your assets. And this is something you do need to be aware of. What's behind courthouse? Mature man. Okay, so there's definitely a main male, probably a little bit older, that's connected to this situation. What's behind that? And there is a child. We do have a child that's connected here. Okay, and there's a message coming in around this. So this is a pretty clear picture. Somebody may be living like a double life here. They may be in a relationship, but they got other stuff going on the side. And I do feel like there is a child that's in the mix of this situation that could be a hidden element. But the other thing I'm picking up is this could be somebody that sort of, they live a life like, I'm just, you know, a family man. I just like hold it down. You know, I follow the straight and narrow. And meanwhile, they're like some crime boss or something. Okay, this is just the energy I got. Just the energy I got. Or they're trying to live out that kind of fantasy. Let's go ahead and get sort of like an overarching theme. Also working with Arcane BS. And then we'll dive in a little deeper with our imps and angels so we can sort of suss out the territory ahead for you, and you can be prepared for what you may be dealing with here. Okay. Let's check it out. And if this is not a physical child, I feel it's like a brain child. It's like your baby. It's something that is your dream, and you're focused on this and you're building on this, and somebody wants to try to take it over and just swipe it right out of your hands, and it's trying to dim on this side here. And I know that doesn't often translate for you all, but the screen was dimming on this side. So yeah, something is concealed here, something you can't quite see, but let's get at least one more pass here and get some more details. Yeah, somebody is really in this position where they feel like what's being brought to an end for them is not fair. They do feel pretty vengeful about it. Like they are sort of focused in such a way where they're like an eye for an eye. This is somebody who has a very old school sort of mentality about the way you settle a score. And this person does have a lot of aggression. I feel that. But an eye for an eye is only going to make this person blind, because there's something they are not seeing here that they do need to be aware of. Now, we do have Scorpio energy coming in there. There could be something that comes to light around this with the full moon in Scorpio that will arrive on the scene on May 12th. That may be when a certain person who perhaps has even had a little bit of an evil eye on your situation. Maybe they've been envious of your situation. They coveted your position and they've been trying to bring it to an end in some way. There's something that, you know, really highlights this individual's blind spot with that Scorpio full moon, and maybe really finally brings an end to their nefarious plans. Okay, this energy coming in. Give me some more details about this, please. Give me some more details about this. Give me some more details about this, please. I mean, certainly that is a time when that individual could get caught up, because that full moon in Scorpio is coming in with the energy signature of the Hierophant. Okay, so this could be something really getting exposed here with this effing guy. Okay, so you've been down this road with this individual multiple times. You should know who this person is that you're dealing with. This person holds a lot of fire. All right, they could be a fire sign, potentially Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. But even if they don't hold that in, you know, one of their big three, there's certainly somebody that has a lot of fire. Okay, this is a very fiery person. This is somebody who tends to act impulsively. This is somebody who lets things fly out of their mouth before they really think them through. And it's very difficult for them to hold in what they're feeling when they're heated, all right? And I do feel like there's a bit of a pressurized situation here where somebody's been holding back that fire, but they are going to take an action to make it very clear. And to me, this feels like a real old score that they want to settle here. And it's got Pharisee kind of energy. So this is something, if it feels like it's been on a bit of a repeat karmic loop. It's almost like when this shows up on the scene, we go, here we go again, okay? That's who you'll know who this is. It's also a little bit of a group dynamic. This person doesn't just come forward alone. They have other people attached to them, all right? And they may be very genuine about the direction they're heading in. And I do feel like they're very stubborn about it too. They're like, no, I'm going this way. And it's because they do feel like that's my moon, you know? That's the moon to my sun. There's somebody that they really feel like soul recognition with, but there's too many other people that are still connected to this individual that create a lot of complication here. And this could even be, this person's got a little bit of guilt by association, like they're not hanging with the right crowd here. And they could be involved with other people that could get them in a lot of trouble. It is sort of coming in that way. All right, somebody here is really big on sort of barking orders at this person, telling them what they should do. They feel like they have some kind of authority over them in their life. All right, I do feel like whoever that person is, this individual is getting real tired of it. They've been holding back like they're fire for a while, but they will start to kind of pop off on this person here and give them a taste of their own medicine. somebody here is just really kind of holding back. And I feel like this energy is a little bit of a mastermind in this situation that might be underestimated. This is somebody who's actually pulling a lot of strings in this situation, and they're finding this amusing or entertaining that they're able to get away with this. Okay, so this could be somebody even that is being confided in, that seems like they're a loyal person. They're providing some kind of emotional support in this situation, or providing some kind of helpful advice, but they're really somebody who's, they're up to some games here, I have to say. And I do think there is an individual here that is sussing something out. They're staying quiet, but they're very much an active player in this situation, because they're kind of like, they're just watching. They're watching what's going on. They got an eye on the situation. They're studying the situation. And then there's another person here who is very angry. They're angry and they are popping off. Meanwhile, somebody here is suffering as a result, and they're being held back from their true desires. But they're not getting the fact that what's really blocking them is the fact that they come with all this in tow. All right. I feel like that's the problem in this situation. Okay. Any more details about this? Oh, quite a few. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Uh-huh. Yep. 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 Okay. So yeah, it's sort of like there's this real sort of placid presentation, like, oh, everything's fine. Everything is, nailed down here. We got it on lock, but everything is not fine. There is a lot that's brewing in this situation that's really pressurized. It's beneath the surface and it is destructive. Okay. And meanwhile, there's somebody here who has been guiding somebody, but they've been guiding them in a direction where it supports them. They're provided for, they get their needs met. But this character feels like, they've lost the map. I feel like this is the one that's howling for the moon. This is the one that feels separated from their true soul's path here, that somebody's sort of hitching a ride on their energy, because in some way they benefit from this arrangement, and they're acting as an advisor to this person, but they're leading them in the wrong direction. I do see what's going to happen here, though, is this individual who's crying out for their moon is going to set themselves free. All right. They are breaking these chains with the shitty acoustic guitar guy. They are ready to rock in the free world, and they're going to turn it up, man, with a little freedom rock there. And they're going to get a lot of space from this energy that is providing some kind of interference here. So there's a lot of Scorpio reference in this situation, but I feel the Scorpio reference is really talking like 8th house matters. So when we're looking at that, we're looking at endings. We're also looking at regeneration of energy, new beginnings. We're also looking at stuff that's taboo or clandestine or hidden or a little bit on the dark underbelly of life. So there are these sort of like themes running through this situation, these sort of arrangements that are done in the dark, deals that are done in the dark. This does factor into this situation. Inheritance as well, that comes into other people's money, assets. And I do feel like this is something that ultimately one will get space from, one will free themselves from this cycle. But there's somebody here that's going to resist this. And I feel like that is the problem. That's sort of like the crux of the matter that needs to be dealt with in this scenario. Now, let me do a cut of the deck just to sort of like cap off the energy, and we'll get some more details coming in here. There is a certain door that should not be opened, okay? Do not use this key to open that door that is presented, okay? That is presented, that comes in, that has red flags all over it, right? You'll know what this is because you already have your suspicions. Like you feel like something's not on the up and up, something's a front. This is not the door you're meant to open with this key, all right? Be aware of this. This is really important here, because this is not the bed you want to make for yourself. You do not want to lie in this bed, not with the filthy mattress. This is a dirty deal. It's a dirty deal. It's also a dirty connection that comes with other energies attached. And I say dirty not to shame anybody for their choices about how they choose to engage intimately with others. I say because there's outside energies here that are very sneaky and that are on the tape. And I don't like it. It's like got indecent proposals sort of energy here. That's what's coming through, and that's what you want to be aware of. Okay? So let's go ahead and dive a little deeper into this energy and get some more details with a proper quest read here, just so you'll know what's sort of up ahead. Had 44 on the clock with that 444 energy. So I do feel like you got some angels on the outfield looking out for you. We're going to start out by looking at the nature of your quest, and we have the Knight of Swords here. So see, all you have to really do is just continue to rely on that razor sharp acumen of yours, because I do feel you're a highly intelligent person. I also feel that you're very observant. You notice little details. You notice little things in communication. And I think when this message comes in, as long as you're exercising that, don't get sort of taken over and go into this place of the feels, or in some cases nostalgia in this situation, because that will really cloud your judgment. As long as you exercise your emotional intelligence in this situation, you'll be able to protect what you're growing here for yourself. That's first and foremost. I also feel like there is a situation here in relation to a child where there's been some kind of disrespect, all right? And this is something that needs to be brought to the forefront, right? Important to recognize this. Now, certainly, if somebody is claiming that a certain individual is the father of a child and they're not, that's not just disrespectful to this man, but it's also disrespectful to the child, okay? It also disrespects oneself to play games like that. So there's something that you need to be aware of here, right, in relation to this. Okay, bottom of the deck, Ace of Swords. So this is really about getting to the truth in a situation where there is suspicion that somebody just wants to get their hands on some treasure here, perhaps through nefarious means. This is that griffin energy sent out by a wizard to suss things out and get their hands on some treasure. And this person does work with sort of inflaming the emotions with passion. That's how they find their in. It's also how they get their information. They will quite literally pump you for information. They get a lot out of pillow talk, okay? It's what has you sort of letting down your defenses and maybe spilling secrets you shouldn't spill, because this person is taking whatever you're sharing with them intimately, and they're sharing this information with other individuals. And they work with seduction, okay? That's the energy this character uses in order to get their hands on the truth, okay? They use seduction. So be aware. Are you sleeping with the enemy? This is something you want to be aware of too. Nature of this quest, please. The nature of your quest is you are dealing with some nefarious wizard here who's sending out a griffin to try to get secrets and hands on your treasure, all right? And with that, we have the Empress, all right? 44:22 on the clock. So I feel like whoever this character is, they're approaching the Empress. They're hoping to secure her love and affection because they know that she can tell them where their treasures are hidden. She has the answers about the past, present, and future. They may see this person even as a seer. And so they want access to the Empress's secrets. Okay, more details about this. More details about this. Ooh. And with that, we got Queen of Swords coming out. So yes, this is somebody who exercises emotional intelligence. This is somebody who has sharp acumen. And this is also somebody who knows how to be able to see the true intentions behind a message here. All right. This person has eyes on them in some way. They have attention on them in some way. Queen of Swords to come out with the Empress, very strong Libra indications, or potentially this could be somebody that shares a child with this person from the past. They're no longer involved with each other. And with this, we have the Six of Pentacles. Again, there's this desire to know about hidden treasure by getting very familiar with someone. It's sort of being presented in such a way like, let's work together, with the Three of Pentacles coming up behind that. Or let's partner on this. It will work for both of us, right? This person is achieving this, though, through mental force. In other words, they play mind games in order to get an in. And you need to exercise your mental force and think very clearly so you don't lose the plot in this situation, because otherwise all that you've been growing will come to naught. I really feel that you'll lose out big. It will be a major tower for you. And right now, you're getting some information to prevent this disruption in your life. It will be disaster if you give this key to this person. Okay? They may be asking for a key specifically. All right? Be aware of what you're sharing with somebody. You're being aided in transformation that's already underway for you by letting you know that this is coming your way. It has not the best of intentions. And even if somebody feels in alignment with you, I feel like whoever they're connected with, that sort of sours this deal. Because whether they, feel like it has an influence or not, it does. There's something you could lose out on really big here, okay? So that's the nature of your quest. Let's see what the nemesis or spirit ally is for you. Whichever has the strongest hold will come out. So we'll find out if you got more sort of spirit ally or nemesis energy around you on this quest. Okay. Bottom of the deck, Four of Swords. Okay, so this is a past matter that you've dealt with here. I feel like you've laid something to rest. You sort of disengaged from a situation. I think you disengaged from a situation because you were dealing with a lot of slander and impious people who were stirring up problems in your life. And I feel like they were diverting you from your mission. Like, you're here on a mission. Like, there's something you're definitely working to achieve here. And these people were sabotaging this for you. And yeah, I mean, you do have, some nemesis energy here for sure. I see that. Okay. What's at work in this situation is a lot of vanity. There's a lot of Venusian energy involved in this situation too. We already know that. We had that energy come out around the Empress, but we have to remember with the Venusian energy, it's not just about love. It's not just about beauty. It's also about war and open enemies. Okay. So there's somebody here that really wants to bring rough waters into this situation. They want to stir up the emotions through emotional manipulation. They want to bring a lot of storms. They want to bring rough seas your way. So just as you're about to come into port, you get washed away. There is something here where they're really looking to bring an end to a situation for you. This isn't a situation where this person is playing around. This person really wants to bring an end to what's coming in for you here. and they will cater to your ego. This person also works with sort of the illusion. And again, this piece coming in, looking in a very practical way. This could be somebody that you're communicating with that is not who you think it is. It's an illusion. It's a fake account. It's a fake profile. They're not who they say they are. They don't look like that. There's something here where you need to sort of peel away the veneer and look at what's beneath the surface in this situation. Why? Because the wheel of fortune is what's at stake here. You are coming into some great fortune. You are coming into some treasure. And if you're like, I ain't got none of that going on, I'm broke as a joke, Brock. It's not true, okay? You may be there right now, but there's something that is shifting for you. The wheel is turning for you, and it's about at that point where you're about to break on through that other side. It's sort of like that meme, I'm sure you've seen it, where the dude's got a pickaxe, and he's just working away at it, trying to get to the gold, trying to get to the gold, trying to get to the gold. And he's been facing nothing but hardship and challenge. He's been working on it so long that he just sort of feels like, well, maybe it's not for me. Maybe I don't have anything here at all. And he walks away. And you see in the next frame, if he just would have stuck it out just a little bit longer, here comes the nemesis behind him, couple more blows, and there's the vault. You see what I'm saying? You got to be aware of this. You have hidden treasure. You may not see it yet, but it's there. And there is this energy that knows it. They already know it, and they want to get access to it. So there's something that you need to be very mindful of here, because this person does work through the means of amore. It's all about presenting a really loving, sort of seductive, sort of fantastical, ooh, come and join me in this beautiful love story. And it's all about the Benjamins. You know, they see you got this 10 of Pentacles. They see that there's something you've been painstakingly cultivating here, and you're just about to hit the mark. So you do need to be aware of this energy. With that, we have King of Wands coming in again right behind that, okay? King of Wands, be aware. This is something you do need to be aware of. I mean, this King of Wands is holding the Spear of Luz. So I do feel like they're going to take a strong action in this situation. And this person has certain answers about where there have been troubles. But there's also this piece with the Nine of Swords, Sagittarian energy, pretty strong there, where this individual knows how to cause great battles. They know how to stir things up. And there's something here it's bitter, it's old, it's been brewing for a long time. There's wounds that have putrefied in this situation, okay? I'm just going to shuffle this a little bit here. So you got like some allies on the scene trying to point out. I feel the allies are coming more in the form of your intuition, your intelligence, being able to read the room. Your spirit guides are kind of telling you, even Uriel coming on through, Archangel Uriel saying, you know what you need to ward here. But there's a lot of energy that looks pretty or accommodating on the surface. It's actually working against you in this situation, okay? Let's get a lay of the land, please. Lay of the land. What is the lay of the land up ahead on this quest? What is the lay of the land on this quest? That's not the door to open with your key. That's all I know. Use that key to open up your vault, man. That's what I feel here. Absolutely. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. You got the Nine of Cups here. See, you're supposed to achieve this point of personal fulfillment. This is about you, personal fulfillment. And I love it. Look, there's Uriel right on the bottom of the deck there saying, yes, you need to ward this. You need to protect this. You have personal fulfillment coming in. There's something you've been working towards. It's a long-held wish. You're about to experience this total turnaround of energy where you'd experienced a lot of reversal and you felt like you were in this place of lack and nothing was growing for you. This is just about to turn around, but you do need to be aware. There's disruption arriving here that's trying to prevent you from achieving this. So don't let these people work you, all right? And you could be dealing with some wizards who are trying to also work you. They're good at throwing some glamour around. They're good with manipulation. And there's something about familiarity that can work against you in this regard. So do be aware of that, right? That's the lay of the land. Well, what is the beef here? What's the problem? Why is this in place anyway? I mean, why can't these individuals do for themselves? Why are they trying to, take you down? I don't understand what the deal is with this. Where's the beef? 5 of Swords. It's really old grudge energy, man. This is just something that goes way back here. It's a past matter. It's a pissing contest. Somebody feels like they're the ones who should hold all the power in this situation. Somebody's very prideful. And this is a person who's, really wanting to bring down what you've built here. They see that you've had some castle in the sky that you're bringing down to earth. You're rooting it in your material reality. And there probably are a lot of people who doubted you or thought like, oh, you'll never be able to pull that off. Like, that's a pipeline dream or whatever. They had their judgments about it. They underestimated you. But I feel like now they're seeing that you're actually coming into this. And so it's a rub for them. It's like rubbing salt in their wounds. And these people are full of wounds that they've been carrying around with them for a long time. And they're full of rot and maggots. It's like old energy. It's like coup energy. It's decayed energy. This is something that's just been brewing and just putrefied for so long here out of complete neglect of having the strength to do the work, to rise above whatever this old score is. It relates and ties back to what is perceived as a betrayal. Okay, so somebody in this situation feels like they really got stabbed in the back and they're very bitter about it, and that's why there's the problems. And they've stirred up a whole bunch of drama and gotten a whole bunch of crusaders on their side to help them in their campaign to take you down. That's what this is. It's a very old matter here, and that's the beef. All right, interesting. Okay. Well, what is the consequences that the collective that chose this gateway of initiation is going to have to deal with as a result of the past actions? Well, first of all, you're part of this picture. I mean, there is something that you need to firmly bring to a close. There's a little piece here about something still being open-ended with the world here in the cross position. You haven't closed out a cycle yet. So that's something you need to do. It's like you may think that you've shut a door, but did you lock it with the floppy key? Probably not. There's something that you do need to do. Maybe that's exactly what you need to do. It is time to lock a certain door. Okay, that's the end of this cycle. I'm heading into brand new territory here. It would be wise for you to do this in this situation because it's what's going to bring you success in all of your ventures, okay? With the world, there could be fixed sign energy involved in this situation as well. You could be dealing with a Scorpio, came out pretty strongly here. We also have Taurus energy, Leo energy, and Aquarius energy coming in there. And with this, there's the Page of Pentacles. So there's familiarity here in this situation that could work against you. Because when this person comes calling, there could be the impulse for you to sort of follow their lead. But where are they leading you? They're leading you down a garden path, and you might not like where you end up. Beware of what you're loyal to. Beware of what you pledge allegiance to, or who you call friend, or who you choose to reconcile with here. Because it could be the very thing that causes everything to come undone. What is this crossing energy? Freaking devil. And again, oh my gosh. Do you see what I mean? See, I love it though, when this energy that tries to interfere in a reading inserts itself like that, because it just calls itself out. This is the trickster. This is the trickster. So I feel like you got to settle a score with a trickster who works with seduction. It's like, you got to dance with this devil one more time. Are you going to follow their lead? Are you going to pledge allegiance to this? If you're seduced by this, it's going to be your downfall. This person is definitely an occultist. They absolutely are. They work more of a left-hand path. This person might be a necromancer as well. They also like to do workings around things that are kind of considered macabre. They may do work in graveyards. They may like to call on the dead as well. This is somebody that wants to reanimate the dead. I do feel like a particular trail of manifestation went cold here, but now they're trying to get you looped back in, right? You've been forewarned, right? I do feel like you need a close cycle on this. You do have to deal with this. You're not going to get to just sort of skate by, ignore it. It's something that must be dealt with because it's part of your learning cycle with the Page of Pentacles, right? It's part of your karmic work that you need to do. So I do feel that this is something that's coming up here, a sort of test. I mean, every initiatory gateway comes with its fair share of testing your mettle. Did you learn your lessons? Let's see if you did. What is the power for you to gain through self-mastery on this quest? What is the power for you to gain through self-mastery on this quest? What is the power for you to gain through self-mastery on this quest? I did want to sort of like clear that energy out a little bit. Let's get that tricky energy out a little bit because it's really, it's don't tell her. Don't tell them. All right. I don't know. Her came in first. So there could be a feminine that's sort of like the target of this character. All right. It's possible. All right. What is the power to be gained through mastery? For the collective that is moving through this initiatory gateway, what is their power to be gained through self-mastery? Ooh. Wow. Interesting how I said her. Her being the target. That's really interesting. Maybe she is the target. Maybe she has done a real good job of deflecting and making it appear that the masculine is the devil in this situation, but it's actually a high priestess that you need to overcome and bring an end to in this situation. That's justice. Notice the urn there. This is what will restore some kind of lost honor or dignity. And I feel it's an honor and dignity that was stripped of you through a slanderous campaign, through some kind of subversive means at the hands of a high priestess in reverse. This is very controlling, manipulative, not good energy. All right. So I feel like that's what you need to do. It's like you need to correctly identify this devil as well. You may have projected this image on a particular person because there's been a high priestess in reverse spinning a certain narrative. And actually, you need to see the situation more clearly with clear sight. This is why you really can't get caught up. You can't let your emotional waters get stirred up, because that's what clouds your vision. Your vision is very important in this situation here. But this is the power to be gained. You throw this high priestess in reverse, completely in reverse. You flip it up on her and you reverse it like a game of Uno. You bring an end to her plans and you settle the score once and for all. And that puts the power back in your hands because you no longer have this interference. Okay, very interesting. But you're going to have to master this situation internally, because I do feel like there's already been a lot of glamour cast in this situation. There's already been a lot of manipulation. It might be hard for you to see through a certain set perception in a situation. All right, let's see. What's at stake for your party, those who are meant to journey with you on this quest, those who are meant to join you on this campaign? What's at stake for your party here? I got a lot of sentience around this, all right? This is going to be quite a test, I feel, for you. There's something about false identification in your situation. It's like screaming here. 5 of Pentacles. 5 of Pentacles. There might have been somebody in this situation that, like, they sort of were finished before they even got started, because they were sort of cast in this role of a villain. And it's sort of like a false identity that's been projected on a certain individual. Maybe a certain individual that also lends power to a certain campaign actually sets things in motion, gets things moving on the road forward with a particular campaign, but they're working against a lot of false narrative and manipulation here. What do we got here? 3 of Cups. I think this is somebody who needs to have their dignity and honor restored in this situation. Okay, and we do have a couple different energies showing up here. Yeah, this justice is at stake. Okay, for sure. Some kind of karmic balance, and right behind that comes in the 9 of Cups. So there's that personal fulfillment coming in with justice. The truth is going to be known in this situation. Innocence will absolutely prevail. If somebody has been falsely cast into the role of a villain in a situation, that dignity and honor will be restored. There will be a reconciliation. We do have energies of Virgo with the bear on the medicine wheel showing up there. We also have energies of Sagittarius, those also born in the year of the horse. And we have justice coming in here, Libra energy with the 9 of Cups to the Chariot, something moving forward, success and conflict and overcoming all adversity here. All right, with a protected way forward. But what do we got here? 4 of Cups in reverse. So see, this is some kind of disappointment that is going to be turned around, needs to be turned around, but there needs to be a correct judgment call in order for this to happen, because there's a lot of healing potential in this situation, but currently it's not being activated because of some kind of manipulation at the hands of a high priestess in reverse. And right now, there isn't a safe way to move forward in this situation, because it's sort of like those who hold power in this situation currently are using it in a corrupted way. They have nefarious intent. So that's what's at stake. You know, being able to actually have, you know, the true justice served in this situation that moves things forward in such a way where there's a lot of healing and there's reconciliation where it should be reinstated. Okay, very interesting. What's at stake for the new world that wants to come into being here for this collective? What's at stake? for the new world that this collective wants to weave into being. What's at stake for the new world? Bottom of the deck, 2 of Swords, breaking the circle. Breaking the circle that lifts all barriers. And I feel like it's not just like the circle, like a certain circle of people. I feel that very strongly. It's like, it's really a situation where the people that come attached to the situation are the problem, not the key players. It's all the outside interfering elements. I also feel like it's a circle of intrigue. I got to bring it in because it is coming in. I do have like crime syndicate energy coming in here. I also have a circle of, workers, a circle of people who work more left-hand path kind of magic in this situation that have been doing some pretty shady stuff with the target they got their sights set on here. There's something about that, though. A circle needs to be broken in order for there to be some kind of success in this situation. I feel like you get a strong indication of this with what comes in with Aries new moon. Some kind of message that comes in highlights this for you. It should make it very clear where you need to break contact, okay? But you're going to have to exercise intellectual lucidity here. Let's see what's at stake for the new world. What's at stake for the new world? All right, got a couple cards here. Judgment. And this is my card every time, even though it's not who it is, it always makes me think, here comes Apophis. Here comes Apophis to steal the sun. Well, it's quite fitting with Apophis, especially with the eclipse energy coming in, right? There is something here that wants to blot out the sun, wants to blot out this happiness, this moment of success for you, this opportunity for you to finally like take center stage or step in the spotlight or have your moment that you've been working towards here. There's you leveling up here. There's an opportunity for you to level up. And there's also a lot of support for you. So don't get sort of caught up in the illusion either. This might be something you might believe that I got all these people against me. No, you got a few real small-minded, petulant. It's coming through as very petulant energy, like spoiled, bratty, childish, immature energy that has a problem with this. You actually have a lot of people that do support you. So that could be sort of some of the glamour that you've bought into, that nobody supports you or you got all this energy working against you. It's not true, okay? Don't buy into that. You're about to level up here, okay? Judgment's already been in your favor. This energy doesn't have any power over you if you don't gain it the access it seeks. Like, you have to let this energy in order for it to be a problem. It's like this leveling up is already secured for you. You just have to see through the deception here, okay? What's at stake? Can you pass the test of the moon in reverse? Do you see what I'm saying? There's something that's been cloaked under the light of the moon, and it's about to be revealed to you. You have not had this revelation yet. Currently, it's something that's still hidden. And it's interesting because it says here reveals messages that have the power to destroy. So I feel like this is something that's going to come in for you with that new moon. You can't see it yet, but the new moon in Aries, it reveals a message to you that gives you the power to take down this force that's been blotting out the sun. Your sun will not be stolen. And again, the child piece comes in too. Is somebody trying to steal your sun? Is somebody trying to sway your son against you? This piece too. Because there was that piece about the child that came in so strongly. All right, so pay attention here. Pay attention to what you give access to those near and dear to you as well. There's something that you should be aware of in this situation, okay? So, I mean, to me, it looks like it's already a done deal. Judgment's already been in your favor. This success is already secured for you. But sometimes we can thwart our own success. We can lose the keys to the kingdom by granting access to people who haven't earned the right to share that new position with you, that new road that's opening up for you. So this is something you do need to be aware of here. What's the cookie? Wow, that came out fast. What's the cookie? I mean, that's that 9 of Swords came out real fast. I mean, I do feel like somebody's got a target on this happiness that's coming in for you, the success that's coming in for you. And somebody really wants to, you know, get you distracted by some conflict too. Drag you into some battle that's not yours to fight. Don't let this become your problem. It's like, this is old news. Like, it's time to get over this. I feel like whatever this is, you've already gotten over it. But somebody doesn't want you to be over it. They want you to be actively engaged in this because of the way it holds you up. And so don't get duped. I think whatever this message is that's uncovered, it gives you receipts. Like, it puts some kind of power in your hands, and then it's up to you to use that power wisely. And it's funny with this energy that, you know, still wants to get things stirred up for you. We have a card that landed right on top of it, just as something got thrown to the floor there. So you can see what landed on the floor here in the reverse position. Yeah, see, Ace of Pentacles in reverse. That's what this trickster energy would like to do. They like to steal that gold from you. They'd like to get their hands on it. They'd like to come forward with some offer. They think they can reel you in, and then they can kind of swap places with you. And before you know it, you're like scratching your head going, what happened? You see, you're in this position where you're about to establish some kind of worldly power. You got some kind of treasure here. And it does say makes you rich quickly. But if you accept this offer from this trickster, you're going to lose it just as fast as you acquired it. I guarantee you of this. I guarantee you. What's covering this energy that wants to stir the pot, get you involved in this battle? We got Temperance coming in here. We got Temperance coming in here. It says reconciliation regains the favor of those one has offended. Okay. So, I mean, this is going to have to be a real judgment call on your part, because there is indication here that you got somebody here that you are meant to kind of like align with, somebody who does have true intention. But the problem is this individual in this situation, even though they may have true intention, they come attached with a bunch of bullshit. To just call it out bluntly, they come attached with a bunch of bullshit that is very problematic. And so I do feel like there might be some kind of recognition of like, I know a lot got stirred up for you. You know, I know that you feel offended, and I know that, you know, things weren't right back there, but somebody says they want to make things right. And yet, you know, we got Queen of Wands crossing. And that to me is a little sus, especially because the energy is concealed here. And we do have that High Priestess in reverse. So there's something here about being aware of who's partnering with who here. And that is the piece that you really need to keep in the forefront here. All right. That's the piece you need to keep in the forefront here as the cookie, is really recognizing that you already hold this power in your hands, despite the fact that you may not have seen it materialize yet. You already have a treasure. It's something that's already secured, but you could be tricked out of it. And that's what you need to remember. You need to remember that even though you may not see it currently, even though it may be concealed from you, you already got a certain power in your hands. So don't relinquish it, because you have a lot of divine power on your side, and it can guard you against these troubles. And you are being covered, right? The cookie is you've already got the reward. It's already there. Just because it hasn't come into the physical manifestation yet does not mean it doesn't exist. It is there, and you will see that. But there's sort of like a test that has to come in with acquiring this fortune that is coming your way. You have to face off with a particular trickster here. But there's this real strong indication that as long as you don't get sort of like duped by a ruse that you've already sort of encountered before, as long as you're able to really read the energy of the situation, you're not going to blow it. All right. I want to do a cut of the deck on that, just to get a little bit further clarification with that one. We got the 9 of Wands. Yes. Okay, so there is some code you're going to crack here. And there will be a particular mystery that will be resolved. And I do see victory for 2 here, okay? But make sure it's the right 2. There's like a third element in this mix. So you want to make sure that it's not victory for like this person coming in with somebody they're attached to. You see what I mean? Right? With the 9 of Wands, there is something you need to be prepared for. You need to be vigilant in relation to this in order for you to experience the elevation that is in store for you. What do we got on the other side here? The moon with Beelzebub. I'm telling you, there is something that is concealed here. Big moon energy, big Pisces energy, big blind spot energy, hidden enemy, okay? This enemy, whatever this person in this mix is, this is a cowardly person. This is not somebody who's open about their position. This is somebody who hides. They hide behind other people. And you need to be aware of this. It's something that's cloaked, okay? It's a thwarting element. It's a blind spot that could sabotage this for you. And whoever this character is, they make manifest apparition of demons. And they set the apparitions of these demons upon men with vices. In other words, they appeal to their vanity, to their ego. They appeal to their desire to conquest through seduction, right? Be aware of this. As long as you're aware of this, it's like the cookie's already assured. You just got to pass this final test. All right. One more card here. I want to see what your target should be during this cycle of this quest that gets kicked off with the new moon in Aries on the 29th of March, leading up to that full moon in Sagittarius on June 11th. So we're really looking at the quest for this entire spring season. All right, so let's just get some final details here about what your target should be, so you stay very focused here. Bottom of the deck, Knight of Cups. Okay, so yes, use your art of perception when this advance comes your way. It feels like a friendly advance. It feels like a warm offer or invitation. You need to rely on your faculties of perception, because there's a revelation to be seen here. Something that's hidden is what's going to be the making or breaking of your opportunity to claim this treasure that's already in your hands. There's secrets that will be revealed to you as long as you're very perceptive about the nature of what's being presented to you in this situation, okay? So keep your focus on this with this advance, all right? And we have the Fool here crossing. Yes. Okay. So it says helps you understand the voice of the waters. So we brought this in on the download that came in for the spring season the other night about really working with that energy of Lagu. So this is a case where you can't just go by superficial appearances. You need to pay attention to the energy signature of what's coming towards you here. You need to pay attention to what your intuition is telling you, what your instincts are telling you, and what's coming up. Like, what are you feeling energetically here? You need to read the room, because it's through understanding the voice of those waters that you will have your answers about what's to come around the bend. In other words, despite whatever may be presented to you, you'll understand the true intention and how it will roll out. That's very significant. Okay, one more round here, because there is a brand new road opening up here for you with the full, with that Aries new moon. It's a point of alignment for you. It aligns you with a brand new beginning that is well overdue for you, right? But you need to pay attention, and when this message comes in, what's revealed to you is significant. It has an effect. And what we got here is we got the Five of Wands coming in with the Magician. So this is like the Wizard's Battle Royale here. Okay, there's definitely like a jockeying for position. There's definitely a fighting for power. There's a desire to obtain this gold, the gold of the TUATHA De Dannanan. You're just about to really see this manifest in your life, which has been the painstaking work you've been doing on your path up to this point. You've been transmuting stuff left and right. You've been working your alchemy, and you're just about to get that reward. It brings you great fortune. And here comes this Magician, okay? Here comes this Magician that brings battle, all right? And you do need to be aware of this. You'll know who this character is, because when you were facing some big fight, this person was a coward. They turned tail and they ran, and they left you to fight for yourself. They ran away and they left you hanging, and you had to fight for yourself. And yet this was something that they were part of, you know? So they left you holding the bag already. They didn't stand with you. They didn't take a stand with you here. And as long as you stay focused, you know, you've already done your alchemy work. You're at this point where as above is about to get manifest below. You're bringing down those castles in the sky. Your kingdom's getting rooted here on earth. You're going to have a lot of financial prosperity here and big time advancement. It's like worldly success. This is what's really coming in for you. I see it so strongly here. This tends to be the overall overtone of your quest. There's longevity in this. So you just are having the final test of the alchemist. Like, are you really ready to root this vision? It's all dependent on you passing this test. Don't get drawn into battles that aren't yours to fight, because the battle already came and went. And you already took your stand on your own. Now somebody wants to fight with you after, it's sort of like, now you're wanting to fight with me after the war's already been won. What's up with that? All right. So pay attention to this. As long as you pay attention to that, I see this road opening for you, but there is something here about it's a little bit of a test for you. It is one final cut of the deck. We'll call it good. Just cap this off for you. Yeah, bring a depth here to what comes to light for you. All right, because I do feel like you let this energy in, you're going to experience nothing but walking through that valley of the shadow of death. You're going to be caught in that valley of the shadows. You're not going to see the new beginnings come into your life that you're meant to see. But by bringing an end to this, you gain the true key that opens up your vault, and it gives you total liberation from this cycle where you just face one ending after another. But you do need to be aware that you come into this great acquisition that will make you the source of jealousy. It's going to incite envy. So you just need to be aware of that. It's like when you hold a lot of light, which I feel like that's what's coming in for you. And when I say light and the light's wanting to dim out there, there's always somebody that's going to want to shroud that, okay? So there's something here that really puts a spotlight on you. And it's going to make you, you know, subject to people who want to challenge this, and something you need to be mindful of along the way. And it's really coming through so strongly with the moon energy, all right? So I feel like you got somebody here and they got like a target on your happiness. This is a hidden enemy. It's karmic matter. It's your blind spot. But something is coming through that's going to give you all the answers you need. But you have to be able to see it and not be caught up in sort of vanity or what's catering to your ego, or you know what I mean? It's a very tricky energy. Don't be seduced here, and you won't experience a great fall just as you're about to be on the rise, okay? So there is a revelation coming in here, and there is a message that will be revealed to you. It has the power to destroy this plot, but you're really going to have to keep your eyes on the prize to not fall for this. This is a fierce contender. It's not your first round with this one. Godspeed.